Hello guys and welcome back to Tenacious Trading Group. So I have the Ultimate Journal and I genuinely believe this is probably one of the best journals out there because not only are you working on personal growth but you are also working on your trading growth. Remember, it's process over profits. So this is the interface. These are the images that you will get at default. However, these can be changed to your own personal needs and your own personal suits. And obviously, this quote gets changed, I think, every day, I believe, or every time you go back onto Notion, it will just update with a different trading quote specifically towards trading. And obviously, you've got the date, time, da 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 da, and obviously, you've got this year. So let's dive straight into it. So we have routine planner, very straightforward. You're just gonna mark out your routine from Monday to Sunday, so you know what from the minute you wake up to the minute you go sleep, you know what you are going to be doing. We have quick notes, again, very straightforward. You might want to just add quick notes, so you don't forget something. Again, very straightforward. And then we have habit tracker. So habit tracker, it's very important. And there's a saying, it takes 21 days to form a habit, and then it takes 90 days to form a lifestyle. So the same way we get up and we go brush our teeth without having to think about it is the same way after a certain amount of time, the habits that you're installing within yourself now almost becomes a lifestyle. So you've probably seen gym heads where they don't even think about going to the gym. They just go to the gym because it's now installed within them. So that's a good example that I could use for habits. So in terms of knowing how to use this, first and foremost, where it says routine, you're gonna have to click on new page here, or you can even click on this section here. Either way, they both do the same thing. But when you click on that, you are just going to, for instance, make a morning routine. You could have an afternoon routine, you can have a night routine, or you could just name it something else. Get habits done ASAP. It really depends on you. I don't make the rules. So once that's done, where it says habit, you're just gonna click on new page here, or new page over there. And once you click on new page, okay, so we're gonna click here. So once you click on new page, you're gonna add a habit that you're gonna add, so maybe 3 liters of water. And then where it says routine, you're just gonna click on that, and you can see where it says morning. So once you've clicked on that, that's you done. And then now when you want to add new section, you might add, I don't know, read 5 pages a day. You might want to add wake up before 7:30, before 7 a.m., and then so forth and so forth. And you can also obviously add another section, so you might have a evening routine, or you can even name it after work. Again, I don't make the rules. You get to choose however you want to design this journal. But let's just say evening routine there, and you can see that evening routine is right there. And if you click on new, and then let's say we want to say gym maybe as a habit, and then can you see now evening is there? You click on evening, and then evening has its own little section. So obviously this is from Monday to Sunday, and let's just say on Monday I was 100%. We can see that the weekly progress has now had a full circle. Well, let's just say on the other days I wasn't as so consistent, but you can see that on my morning routine for my habits, on average I complete it at a 50% rate. So now I can now go back and see my strengths and my weaknesses and see what I need to potentially improve on. Once the week is done, all you're going to do is reset habit, and then now obviously you are there for the taking for the new week. So it's very important to be truthful to yourself and hold yourself accountable, and understand that these habits that you're trying to track you're trying to improve your life, you're trying to get better. So that's it for this section here. So now when we get to gratitude visualization board, it is very simple. Obviously these images are just the default, however you guys can add your own images as you like. So when you see new page and you just hover above, you're going to see add icon, add cover, and customize layout. You just want to click on add cover, and then once you click on add cover, you're going to get a random picture that gets up there, but you're just going to change cover. When you change cover, you have the option to upload an image, or use Unsplash. Unsplash is probably easier. So let's say you want a private island. So let's say you want a private island one day for you to own, and you potentially like this image. You can see now that that image is right there. So if I click on new page again, and remember, it's not, you're gonna go hover above it, you're gonna add cover, and it's gonna give you a random picture. But what you're gonna do is just search whatever you want. So let's say I want a Bentley. I will click on, I don't know, maybe this Bentley. Remember, you can add more than one image, and obviously once that's added there, that's the Bentley I potentially want in the future. So it's very straightforward. Yeah, and that's it for this section here. And then when we get to gratitude journal, you know, we all know why gratitude is good. We got to be thankful for, you know, the little that we have, because there's someone out there that's wishing they could be in your position, despite you not even being where you want to be yet. So there's always room to be thankful, and you know, just to hold gratitude for yourself. So again, you're just going to click a new page, and so obviously you have, what am I grateful for today, what is my word of the day, and what did I learn today. This could be changed to anything you want. So you might say 3 positives that happened today. You know, what am I'm trying to say is just whatever you want to change these questions to, you can. It's just about holding yourself accountable and just being grateful for what you have. This is the monthly, so at the end of each month, you can also do this. And then yeah, that's about it for the gratitude journal. And then when we get to long-term goals, so obviously everyone knows what long-term goals are. I'm not going to get into it, but you're just going to click on new. When you click on new, you're going to add the goal that you want. So maybe a long-term goal of yours is to be a profitable trader. And then obviously there's status, so to do, doing, and then done. So you might be in a section where you're to do, or you might be in a section where you're doing, to be a profitable trader. And obviously once you're done, you could always change it up. You can always change it up, and then obviously done, to show that you have completed that section. So if I add another section, a long-term goal might be to, I don't know, own a island, and then that's something that I'm looking to do but I'm not doing right now. And then obviously that section will be right there. So very straightforward. And then I've actually added short-term goals, because I feel like you don't want to clog long-term and short-term in one space. So short-term could be, I don't know, get your driving license. You know, get your driving license, and maybe that's something that you're doing, and obviously eventually it will now be something that, what's it called, you have done. And obviously if you want to be more precise, you could always add the category within this goal. So this goal might be a life skill that you might put under. Obviously, you know, you might have another goal where you're doing, and then this might be, let's just say a short-term goal is to reach 90 kg maybe, and then category could be health. And obviously you might have a due date on when you want to complete this, but that's just you know, getting into more advanced stuff. But overall it does the same job. And then obviously at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you could clear out your short-term goals. However, your long-term goals, because it's going to take much more longer, hence why I've made those 2 areas separate. So when you get to addiction tracker, this is very important. We all know people that are addicted to things that is killing them slowly. And there's a saying, break your habits before they break you. We all know an uncle of an uncle or a friend of a friend, and we've seen how habits can truly affect them. So in terms of knowing how to use this, all you're going to do is just click on new, and then you're going to make this week 1. So that's very important, week 1. And then let's just say you want to stop drinking alcohol, stop drinking, You're gonna connect it to your monthly progress, so what in the month of July, and then once that's done, you can see on week 1, Monday you didn't drink, Tuesday you didn't drink, Wednesday you didn't drink, Thursday you didn't drink, maybe Saturday, Sunday, Friday you did. So remember, this is about being accountable. This is about being true to yourself. Remember, all of this is for your own personal use. No one else is going to see your stuff. So feel free to just be open to yourself and hold yourself accountable. So obviously you will have potentially week 2 next week, and you're just going to connect it to the month of July at the time, and then obviously it will be drinking as well. But you can also add other things. So maybe stop smoking. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be drinking. So week 1, stop smoking, stop vaping. You obviously will just link it to the month of July or whatever month you're in at the time, and then obviously you can see how you go. So obviously over time you'll be able to see your progress, even down your monthly progress. You'll be able to see your progress over time on how you are doing. And then that's about it, really. So remember, break your habits before they break you. Your habits form your lifestyle, hence why it takes 21 days to build a habit and it takes 90 days to build a lifestyle. So choose the right poison. And then when we get to, so that's it done for the personal section. So now when we get to the trading section, we've got day log. So this is not your trading journal. This is just where you're gonna log your trade. So if it was a win, the month of July, and then obviously you add the date, and then you'll just say it was in 2,000 profit, and then obviously you just add the image there. So let me just add another one. If you didn't win, you don't tick anything. Month of July, day is the 10th, and let's say profit was minus 1,000, and of course you'll just add your image there. But when I go back, we can clearly see that on the month of July, I've only made 1,000. So we can see that I made 2,000 at one point, and then at one point I made one minus 1,000. Obviously this is incorrect because it says the date, but that'll be for the 10th. And then yeah, so is this a good way to see how much you potentially made over the month, over the year? And then that's it, really. Checklist, very straightforward. You're just going to add your own checklist. So this is what mine looks like, just in case you want some inspiration. And obviously it opens up with stuff that I look for and stuff like that. So just a little bit inspiration on how it will look like for you. But yeah, so going back, that's your checklist done. Trading notes, very straightforward again. So if I show you my one, these are the trading notes that I've had from a while back. It's always important to keep your stuff safe, and it's always change and adapt. Or if you find new data, again, I don't make the rules, but this is just for you. Your own personal notes, where everything is kept in one place and it is kept safe. And then we have our main trading journal. So this is where the source is going to come, and again you're just going to click on new, or you can click here, new page, and then let's just say you're on a Apex 50k, and obviously the type will be a funded account. Initial balance will be a 50k, and obviously the profit target will be maybe 53,000, and then that's it. And then that's all you set up there. And then when you have a new trade, at the bottom you're just going to click on new, and then you're going to obviously add Apex 50k. You're going to add the date. You can add the time if you want. Duration, let's just say it was 10 minutes. Let's just say the pair was GC. Direction was shorts. Account was the Apex 50k. Session was New York AM. Risk was 1%. RR was 2R. And then I ended up making 1,000. and then that's you done. And obviously at the bottom you're going to add your photos, entry details, exit details, analysis, and obviously your result review. So feel free to add all of that stuff. Remember, this is your journal. And obviously once that's done, you'll see over here and you see that you have 100% win rate. But now let's say you took a new trade and obviously you Apex 50k, and then maybe that was on the 8th, so that was yesterday. Duration was, let's say, 7 minutes. Pair was NQ. Direction was long. Account was the Apex 50k. Session Neo AM. Risk 1%. RR, I was basically 0 at the time here because obviously it was a losing trade. And obviously let's say I made minus 500. And obviously you can add a commission if you want to be very, very precise with your stuff. And obviously you add all your stuff here, and then as you can see now, my win rate went from 100 to now 50%. But we can also see my net profit in terms of the sum. My average duration is 8.5 minutes. My average risk is 1%. Obviously my average RR is a 1R. So you can see over time how much you have made. And this is a very cool tool because you could have multiple accounts. You could have your own personal account where it's live, and so on and so on. So yeah, this is quite a neat tool to use, and it's very easy to navigate. And it's the same thing for your backtest journal, literally the same thing. You'll just add your stuff. And obviously backtest notes, very straightforward again. And then we have our monthly database. So this is just the thing that I showed you earlier on. It's just everything put in one place, but all it is just this section here, but just in a confined area. And then last but not least, learning and improvement. So with this, all you're going to do is just add your losing trades. You're not going to add winners. You could also add break even depending on how you feel, but this is mainly for your losing trades, your narrative, why to that trade, the review, the outcome of it, and obviously action steps. What you're going to do to move on forward, what you're going to do to what's it called, potentially maneuver taking trades. So yeah, so that's it for this journal. Again, I generally believe this is probably one of the best journals. Feel free to add, remove anything you like. And even the images here, this is just by default. You could change it. So if I just click on this image here and I want to change cover, and remember, you could upload your own stuff, or you could use Unsplash. And then let's just say, I don't know, you like designers, you might like Gucci, and then maybe the images are not nice, so I might say Gucci store. You're gonna have to be very specific on how you want to do things. So maybe you like that sign here, and then you'll click on that, and you can now see you've got the Gucci store right there. This is just a default for you guys, and that's it for today. I am gonna just show you how it does look on the phone very, very briefly. So in terms of the phone, this is what it will look like. As you guys can see, you have everything there. And let's just say I wanted to go on my habit tracker. Obviously you're just in a more confined space, but it still works the same. It still does the same job. And if I go back and we go to our main trading journal, no, trading notes, my bad. We go to our trading journal. It still works the same, as you can see here. It's just that you're working in a more confined space. So that's it for today, guys. This is the Ultimate Journal. It is PC and phone friendly. But always remember, guys, that victory belongs to the most tenacious, guys. And wherever you guys are in the world, I am wishing you guys a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. And I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys. Peace.